Marvel Spider-Man. I finally got to Insomniac game. I finally got to play it. Especially with Marvel Spider-Man 2 coming out in October, I wanted to kind of blast through this one and Miles Morales, and I did just that. How much do you remember about this game, Phoenix? I'm sure. How many times have you
Good
played it?
amount. I played it the first time through. I think I did the new game plus. I didn't. Every once in a while, I come back to revisit it because my daughter likes to hop on to swing through as Spider-Man. She's really big into like Across the Spider-Verse right now, so anything that's got Spider-Man or Miles, she's all about. So I guess I have revisited it a little bit since then, but I played it. Was it when it came out? Maybe it was a little bit after. I loved it then. It seems like you had a similar take.
I freaking loved it. I feel like for me, if you Phoenix knows, but like one of my favorite game series of ever is the Arkham series, and I feel like this, it's easy to compare it because of the combat, very similar combat system, the open world mechanics, pretty similar as well. Um, but like it scratches that free flowing movement of traveling around the city, with the bat,
Mm.
with the bat suit. Here it like feels just as fun, just kind of swinging around, and I don't know, it
Makes you
feels
feel like Spider-Man.
feel like Peter or Miles, whichever. But there's it's so fun. Like I had fun just kind of traversing the town and
Mhm.
landmark seeking. I even That's the crazy thing is, well, I'll touch on it with Miles Morales, but with this game, I almost loved all of the collecting stuff. Almost every collecting thing gave like a little narrative and like told you something about it. Gave you got to take like a deep dive into Peter's life with whatever you were
Yeah.
collecting. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, I agree, and part of it is, yeah, the items you collect are fun, and also like your whole point really of this game beyond like the narrative is moving and traversing New York City. So it's fun to just get from collectible to collectible. Other games, it's a slog having to like go through a big open world or find some random cave. Like I hated collecting some of the stuff even in like Tears of the Kingdom. I was just over it, but in this game I could swing around New York for hours and never really get tired, just because that's one of the main gameplay loops, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
traversal. So it makes us navigating, collecting, doing little side missions a lot of fun throughout the entire time.
Yeah. And of course, all the boss battles, everything's super fun. Like once you get to the raft and the shit begins to go down, it's just like it's really cool. Narratively, I won't ruin the main narrative, but like narratively, it's fun with what happens with Peter and how the everything that's going on with Mister Negative and all the other bosses. It's super cool. I really enjoyed my
Did you
time.
play any of the DLCs?
I did not. I went straight into Morales.
Okay, it doesn't really matter. I don't think they're necessary. They have some fun stuff in them, but the other thing I was going to ask, I think I remember you kind of alluding to this in one of your early playthroughs. Because the other big Spider-Man game that most people would tout as like the next best underneath this or close to it, old school Spider-Man 2, Toby's day
I
out
never
there.
played that one, but I always remember people liking it.
Yeah, you didn't play it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess this point won't really go real far then. Because I think in most cases, this game is, of course, head and shoulders above that. There's one thing Spider-Man 2 did really well. I still feel like this game doesn't quite hit. There was this swinging mechanic where, like, when you get to the bottom or quote unquote the apex of the swing, you could like do an extra boost, and it gave your character like just this extra speed as you're going
Hmm.
through. That felt really good. This game doesn't really do that, and maybe it's more realistic this way. And there's other ways to get some speed while swinging around, but I still miss that little element. Spider-Man 2 felt a little faster from what I recall. And it could be rose-tinted glasses, nostalgia kind of feeding into that. I haven't played it in a decade,
Hmm.
but I
Well,
remember
it's
just that feeling in this game. It still wasn't quite there.
it's like the Arkham games had a similar thing where you would grapple to a spot, and if
Mm,
you double tapped A, your grapple would shoot you faster at the point,
right.
and then it would launch Batman. So
Yeah, it just gave like this little like momentum kind of push that just made two feel really quick. And I feel like I watched a YouTube video a while back where somebody actually went back and tried to analyze that.
mhm.
I think they were able to break down that is actually faster than the new one with that mechanic. So not an important thing. It's a real nitpicky thing. This game is better than two in almost every
well,
other way, but I like
well,
to
I
mention
think
it.
in an interview with the developers at Insomniac, they said that they styled this game after two. They literally
Yeah.
said that like every mechanic. They said they were trying to make just a spiritual
Yeah, that was the
successor.
pillar to base it
Hmm.
off of. Yeah.
But yeah, I had fun just about every aspect of this game, like landmark seeking, collecting all the collectibles, getting all the suits, putting
You
away all.
mentioned there was one negative, wasn't there? That you,
My only
as
real
long as you were
negative,
getting there.
it's a very surface level, but like I didn't like the look of this Peter. I for some reason thought his character model was very generic. I don't know. He
You
just did.
know this is not the original model.
This isn't.
When when Spider-Man first came out on the PS4, that game, it had a completely different character model. Then when they re-released it for the PS5 with I think if they did during the remaster,
They
they
changed it.
remodeled it. They remodeled Spider-Man, Peter Parker, so he was a little closer looking to Tom Holland, just a little bit. The
Eh,
original one
I gotta
looks
look up what he
very
looked like.
different.
I'll look it up later,
Um,
but
he's a little weird looking. I liked it better. Because you're right. I think the new one I think is a little overly generic because it's not Tom Holland. It's kind of like the Marvel's Avenger game they put out
mm-hmm,
where all the superheroes kind of look like the MCU actors, but not really. They're in this weird kind of uncanny, generic
mm-hmm.
look. That's what they did with this Spider-Man.
I
The
can see
original
it.
one had more character to him.
Yeah, for
So
some reason, like I feel like the voice actors, everyone was great. All the acting was great, fantastic. I just felt like his character model for some reason like stood out from everyone else. That's interesting because I didn't even know it was a different
yeah,
character in the original version of the game. So they didn't change any
yeah.
other
I'm
character?
really curious if you'll think he looks better. Nope, just him that I remember.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I for some reason thought he just like he didn't look like Andrew, he didn't look like Toby. He just looked like some generic like
Here's how we
19
can find it real
20 year
quick.
old. I was just like he looked too smooth. Is that a bad way of calling someone? Telling them they look smooth?
You're definitely not smooth.
Uh,
You look kind of smooth.
okay, here we go.
It's
I
an
got a
easy way to
picture.
get
Hold on, let me see
arrested.
if
You
I
shouldn't
can.
shouldn't say that.
All right,
Yeah.
let me
I'm letting
see
Phoenix
if
give it him a
this
second.
will go. Can you guys
Oh,
see that?
okay. I see.
Can I get that bigger?
Oh,
So this is how he was
Oh.
before. This is how he is now.
wow, he's completely different.
So like he looked. I
He
mean,
looks
this was a
better.
weird
He looks
model, like with a
better
big.
than the first one.
He looked more
Yeah.
unique. I don't. I like the original compared to that. This just I think toned him down too much, made him a little more generic.
His features are
His
more
nose is
distinct.
flatter.
Yeah, in the first one.
His nose is white and flat.
You catch us. That's funny. Okay, but yeah. So they definitely changed him around quite a bit. Even the hair, I didn't realize they moved the hair around too.
Interesting.
Yeah, they did.
Interesting.
Why did they do? I just don't. I get it. Maybe you said Tom Holland, but
I am pretty sure it was around the time, like, I don't remember if it was when Civil War came out or if it was Homecoming, whatever, but I thought that's why where the reasoning was. Maybe it was a completely different reason, but I'm pretty sure they have the same voice actor, so they didn't change
no.
it due to that.
I mean, I thought the voice actor was great. It didn't
Yeah.
bother me. I did read that I think more people had more problems with or you know what? Since I'm moving on, let's go ahead and move on to Miles. Or anything else you have to say about Spider-Man? I just had a bunch of fun.
Mm, yeah.
It's really weird because it's like I don't have much more to say. Like I enjoyed almost every aspect of it, the narrative, the combat. It's. I think this is probably one of those games where every year or other year I'll probably try and play it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. But yeah, so speaking of,